Gevlidagi, and welcome to my entry from the 4th Center for Chaos Cursed Conlang Circus, mebemuge. This is my first ever entry into the Cursed Conlang Circus, and also my first ever conlang. I started this project basically right after CCC 3 ended, so none of the optional themes will be followed. Phonology. The consonants of this language are as follows. B, D, G, M, N, V, Z, Z, R, and L. And the vowels are E, U, O, E, and A, with phonotactics of consonant, optional liquid, vowel, optional coda consonant. Coda consonants only get used in affixes. And this is the orthography. We got the IPA phonemes, the romanization, the language's alphabet, my best attempt at mapping that alphabet to existing Unicode characters, and the base vibe for each phoneme. But why do the phonemes have base vibes? Do I just have synesthesia? Not as far as I'm aware. It's because the morphology, at least for nouns, is oligosynthetic. Nouns. Take the word desa, tall/vertical, red, strong, black. Now what noun do those shared properties make you think of? If you guessed wall, you'd be correct. Na gets used as an intensifier of the other consonants in the root noun. For example, bono, the word for sun, uses na to intensify the warm of ba. Na is also the plural suffix, so wall singular is desa and walls plural is desan. And la inverts the meaning of the consonant it directly follows. So in a word like blanu, the bla actually means cold. Articles. Don't really have them. Pronouns. There's first person ma, second person mo, and the rest of the vowels are used for third person. For third person pronouns, how are they divided, you might ask? They are divided not by the noun's gender in society, but by the first vowel of a noun's name. So vimo, the noun snake, would use mi, deza would use me, zluda, the noun feather, would use mu, and blanu would use ma. Suffixing a pronoun with la makes the pronoun demonstrative. But what if a noun starts with o or a? For a noun that starts with o, the demonstrative mol serves double duty as a personal and demonstrative pronoun. So bono uses mol, and due to stress being root initial, a simply can't be the first vowel of a noun. So mul is impersonal. All pronouns can be made plural with na and reflexive with za. Third person plural of a group with mixed pronouns uses the majority, according to the speaker, for the vowel. Proper nouns are created by taking a noun and adding its pronoun as a prefix. Names used in proper nouns must be adapted to fit the phonology and phonotactics, but do not have to follow the phoneme vibes, allowing the name to end and start with any consonant, but can also end in a vowel. Now, let's do this with a few names, going from least to most adaptation needed. Zoe becomes mezeve, Agmashwa becomes magamaza, Eterno becomes medernal, and Nice Fighter becomes minizividor, using a pronoun as a suffix. I'm sure you've heard of a possessive suffix before. I've already used them 3 times in this script. Now get ready for the possessed suffix. Simply suffix the noun you want to be possessed with the pronoun of the possessor. The noun for this example will be bevo, meaning arm/hand. We can have bevoma, my hand, bevomo, your hand, bevomi, its hand, and I think you get it by now. If you want to further specify the possessor, just slap it right after the possessed noun. Example, bevoma magamaza, Agmashwa's hand. Verbs. You may have noticed in the phoneme vibes chart that the vibe for g is verb. This is the part where I elaborate on that. G plus a vowel makes a root verb. Gi, go, ge, gu, ga, ga. Meaning be, want, say, do/use, have, and feel, respectively. But that's only 6 root verbs. You're gonna need way more than 6 verbs. While there are actually only 6 unique verbs that are acting as verbs in the translation passage, there are adjectives in it that are best derived from verbs. Where does one get more verbs? From nouns, of course. If you prefix a root noun with one of the root verbs, you get a new verb. If you suffix a root noun with the root verb, you get the nominalized version of that verb, often in the sense of one that verbs or the act of verbing. The la, na, and za affixes also appear on verbs, making the verb negated, imperative, and conditional, respectively, infixed right after the root verb. But those only mark mood. How do you mark tense? That's where the word order comes in. Present tense uses SVO, Past tense uses VSO, and future tense uses SOV. But how do I tell if an intransitive clause is in the present or the future? Well, that's where we get to the adpositions, particles. Syllable-initial la. La in a noun slot indicates that there is no noun in that slot, while still expressing where the slot is relative to the verb, allowing for unambiguous tense in intransitive clauses. So, I sleep is ma gubeva la, I slept is gubeva ma la, and I will sleep is ma la gubeva. You can also use la to glue nouns together to make new nouns, such as heart being demo labume, literally chest organ. Nominalized verbs can also be put into compounds, preferring to be at the end of the compound where possible, such as lung being bume lathanagi, literally organ air B. Verbs can't be derived from compound nouns, but they can be derived from nominalized verbs, such as the greeting from the intro, give liregi, literally say here be, with be here being to arrive, then nominalized to arrival, then saying arrival, basically meaning to greet. Li, lo, lu, le, and la are your more standard prepositions, those being a generic locative, a comparative like/as if, and, with, and or, respectively. And with the la coda added, you get an anti-locative, unlike and, without, and nor. Lull is the resident subordinate clause maker. You can't have more than one verb per clause, so something like I want to sleep would be ma go lull ma gubeva la, a more subjunctive phrase. Similarly, I want you to drink water is ma go lull mo gubluzu bluzu. And this is your reminder to hydrate yourself. Adjectives. Like verbs, adjectives are made by prefixing nouns, this time with r and a vowel, the vowel of which determines the flavor of adjective. You could also say this language has adjective cases, those being ri, literal adjective, ro, like the noun it's prefixing, re, a metaphorical adjective, ru, a hyperbolic adjective, ra, relating to the noun it's prefixing, and ra, made of the noun it's prefixing. La, infixed right before the noun, negates the adjective. La, suffixing the entire adjective, inverts the meaning. So, ribluzlu is wet, ribluzlul is dry, rilbluzlu is not wet, and rilbluzlul is not dry. Normally, adjectives go directly after the noun they modify. But if the noun has a specified possessor, then the adjective order goes noun, its possessor, the adjectives of the possessed noun, ril as a spacer if the possessor's adjectives are specified, and finally, the possessor's adjectives. Adverbs are basically adjectives with g added to make the prefix gr. Adverbs go right after the subject in their adjectives. So, small wasps will sting you repeatedly is damon ridera vid grizurogu mo gudamo. To properly submit this language to the circus, I have to translate the following passage. What a majestic serpent! Surely it won't weave itself into the loom of infinity, nor coil into the wheel of endless ruin and rebirth. Oh my god! Its jaws close upon its own flesh! Fangs stinging deep into its own tail. It gnaws its bones as if they were the ribs of time itself. It drinks its own marrow as if siphoning eternity. A beast both devourer and devoured. A whisper swallowed by its own echo. Slithering tail-eater. Truly a testament to the unbroken dirge of time, now and forever curled in my heart and the heart of the world. And this is the final translation. Mil vimo rodome. Mi grisaro mis li zomla ladlema guma, na ladlero gal gudlema. La lis lavlo radlove la desaga, razuro la zimeregi, ridlero gal gizlada. Dizama, bema la dovlan mi, guveza li bezle la zimaremis, beza la zinan grivoro guzamo li dlero la vurumis. Mi gubema dovlan mi lo gimon demo la dovlan ma vara. Mi gubluzlu dovla la bluzlu mi lo guzlevi vara la dlerogal. Bemezu ribemagu le rizledligi. Gizledli zludage zuro la zludage muls. Bezagamel dlero lavuru rivimogi. Zerage gi rizizi bemage la blemlu gama vara rildezaga. Gizlono mel grivara lazuro le grivara la dlerogal li demolabumema le demolabumen mon. And that's the end of the showcase. I know this is quite the far cry from what I usually post on this channel, mashups of mostly nerdcore songs with the occasional original song or cover. But I hope you enjoyed this anyway. And if you're here because you want to watch all the CCC4 submissions, maybe give some of my other videos a shot too. I don't know how to end this video, so like, comment, subscribe, and give Liedergil. Also, this video was edited entirely in Reaper. Yes, the DAW Reaper.